right, we are live. I have seen three people have already joined us. So thank you so much, those who have already joined us. If you are new to the U10 platform, then the U10 is an advocacy platform that spotlight impactful work that our community members are doing, especially young people and women. And today, really, we are honored to have our special guest, Maketh Kuer, Gabriel. I know many of you at Iran, simple Iran, rate in our community, PLO, especially when it comes to real estate development. They are big project one, it's all centerpiece, in Nakuru. So thank you for joining, share this conversation because we hope to inspire many people to really take digital financial literacy seriously and look into the issue of land, the only real thing on earth, which is the real estate, the land that market is invested in. So today will be different conversation. It will be powerful. It will be inspiring. And I don't want to take the shine away in market about platform could well be story they share. But before that, let your friends join the show. Let them know that we are talking today about financial literacy and generational wealth, creation of generational wealth through the use of land. So Maketh in Ran, in our community, on the U10 we speak both English and Dinka because I love for them. So we want our people to change their mindset, to make a U10, and then we will book around Benjacho. So thank you for giving us the honor to join the U10 platform today. I want to give you this space to share, your journey with us. What led you or how you went into real estate development. Financial literacy become a big part of you, and your effort to uplift the communities around you. Like what drive you, what motivates you? Can you walk us through that journey?
Thank you so much, Paul Philip. It's my pleasure to come to your platform. As you say early, and Chol Maketh Kuer ko, and we moved to United States in around 2004. After I moved to the United States, I joined college. While I was in college, uh, I was able to graduate at the University of Kansas City, Missouri. And then after University of Kansas City, Missouri, I went and did my master's in University of Central Missouri. With that being said, on the side, I was doing some few stuff as well. So I went back to Kenya in around 2009. While I was still in college, I decided at the time. Uh, so I have two things on my table. So and it so yeah, Jaran to in my early 20s at the time. So and and then I have to also think about the future. Uh, so to I'm at the crossroads, so I have to make a very quick decision. I Fortunately for me, I have a few more options than most of the people. So option Jan Belatin, I decide to uh, work on our relationship when Nyan Kenyan Jam at the time. Uh, so we were blessed. So at the time we feel like we were blessed, and then we think we want they have to be something to be done with them. So I have to board my first land, and I think that first land when I bought it, I uh, think the other almost 3 weeks basically. So that is how I bought the land, and then I started evolving the land slowly by slowly. Uh, One and then back to the US, and then I have a discussion with a good friend of mine, Chol Mangai. He thought the idea was really good, so Chol asked me if he would join me, and then I said yes. So Chol joined me. Uh, about another 2 weeks, Chol think the project is too big, that we cannot be able to achieve it, because at the time the cost of construction should have been around maybe 100 to 150,000 US dollars. Chol think this is a big project, so we cannot afford at the time. At the time, actually, we were not making a lot of money. We were just college students. We were making between $12 to $15 per hour, so it's not really a lot. Um, Chol was single at the time as well. So I want to get Chol and go, okay, okay. It seems project is still bigger. Can you recruit from your network? And I will recruit from my network. And then we come together and then we will we will do this. And then I said, okay. So next weekend, we came with about 14 people. So 14 people, we explained the dream to them and what need to be done. Everybody was happy. We said in about a week time, we're going to put money in the first payment. So we structured it down to a series of payments. So when that week came, uh, only me and Chol and another two people deposited the money. And everybody did not show up. So well, these are our colleagues. This is America. So Ajiran where well, it's supposed to follow through. So actually, a reason we are not going to call them. So Abugo Pola the way it is. We said okay. So the two people make a small payment and then we start. But when the second and the third payment start coming in, the other two people did not continue. So Kichik bet out in total was about maybe 8,000. And then we continue with the project. It took us about 8 years, no, actually 7 years to complete the project. And then when we sit down at the time and we did our calculation, we realized that we are putting actually about 250,000 US dollars. And we could not figure out how did we even get that money because we were still at college at the time. And I was in graduate school. Chol was also finalized in graduate school. And so actually a project we completed after my family Chan to the US. And then so we had a lot of responsibility. So if there is anything that I would have learned from that particular journey for our starting is that sometimes you don't have to have it all to start. Start where you are, and then it will catch up. Because if I look back and imagine at the time I started the project, the only money that was in my pocket, I have about 20,000, and that 20,000 we use about 13,000 to buy the land. So which means that you don't reach about 7,000. 7,000 in Gajagan Foundation. Actually, we Kaga job yoga foundation job. And then we go
Wow,
yeah. So the man on Kennedy, Kichoy trust secretary, who we are Kichoy obligation. Choluku, I have guarantee check of almost about 10,000 for the first time. This is the first time whereby money exchange in our friendship. We usually working either on school in United States. And I want to get you Ben for the first time to come and see. He came on the ground and he was so grateful. And then I was so relieved that what you can win the touting, it made sense to him. And what at the time really mattered to me.
wow, wow, wow. Oh, well, teacher did you tell friendship actually very important. I don't know. I don't want to take the story away. How you when it's your kucha back mother back trust back mati, but it's very important. Galake sanduk, chagwala kuchor kau tinglu sanduk. In our community, this sanduk thing is a big thing. And just mention how that sandung tin and then are becoming 200,000 people is impressive. Maybe you can talk a bit more reflection on that sanduk and how sanduk has been been used from other areas to bring about development. Chirike Chakaloy.
Yeah, so the little bit of different when I was working with Chol. Uh, Most of our money I can bend directly, and then they went to work. So Luaya, you could cut down into small pieces, workable pieces. So for example, this month or this 3 months, we're gonna work on the wall. Then we work on the wall. If we're gonna work on the slab, we're gonna work on the slab. So, but back to what you asked, uh, in our community today, uh, I think the people that are capable to be able to pull a big lump sum of money at one, IDR,
Yeah.
because they have figured out with this Sanduk thing. Uh, our challenge is maybe Woro got the more information,
Mm-hmm.
but there's this barrier in the middle whereby Kimanan Chilaba Luya Crossman batting by long tea, but I Luya advice of what you need to do with our finances is a cultural thing. So we respect that line.
So
But
now what is that? You go car mo kwelo into your
and your thing, unless you literally ask me what do I need to do, but I think anything you area or advantages we can't take the other. I wouldn't say anything. So it's one of those cultural boundaries. Uh, there was a show I was on the other day. You know, Kicho Ying the Mal, then it's 3 steps.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 steps, to be able to acquiring and get the first thing. So where do you make your money? That is acquiring. So are there any income that is acquiring? There is a storing. Storing is what do you put that money into? And then the third step, actually multiplying. Now the money that you have stored start making you money.
Mm-hmm.
So at this step in our community, we have only figured out one step, that is acquiring. We know how to acquire, but we don't know how to store. We don't know how to multiply.
Aha.
Yeah. So we sometimes confuse having access to the wealth and having the wealth itself. Let's say, the issue of South Sudan, I will give you a perfect example. We have access to the wealth in the term of our natural resources, our mineral, but we are not doing the storing and we are not doing the multiplying. So through the services Yokola watch from other community, we will flow into Tanzania, it will flow to Ethiopia, it will flow to Kenya. So we are not restoring our own wealth. And that is why if you go around the mid 2000, you live around you in South Sudan, 100,000 traffic, you know. Now the same people now, they could not even afford to buy a tea. And the reason is because I know, right? So now they did not store and they did not multiply. Kichoi mal a lot to people who are organized. If you are organized, it will flow to you. So everybody will have access to resources, but those who are organized, Chimena Bad, Chimena Kenyin, who are organized, are be will have a lot of cake. So if you calculate today the amount of the wealth that has come to the country in the term of oil revenues, natural resources, are they maybe less than 10% in the few people store in the term of asset. But the other almost 90% actually flew those who are organized in the region, those who provide us services. Because buying services is very expensive. Services always cost you 30% more than your own thing. What I mean by that is, for example, if we have our own school and our own hospital, we will spend like almost 30% less on them. But if we have to go and buy education from somebody else and we go to buy healthcare from somebody else, we're going to pay 30% more. You see? So, guy dilemma talking work.
No, you can't do that. I be wealth, men they're not quite be at all. I don't think you can think so many people are sharing this conversation. They are happy. Elijah Jacob, Agutoma joke. Many people he didn't in Mabila, they say they are not sleeping, they were waiting for these conversations. You know, I kind of
Thank you.
being up here, and I'm happy they are paying attention to this. You know,
Thank you.
about financial literacy can disappear. I think something is happening. The U-turn is happening. So you say
Yeah.
key things, and I want you to back up a barrier. There are three things involved when it comes to money.
Mhm,
Multiplied, and you say,
mm.
what works in other communities that should we work and work. And I want you to go deeper before we go to the next question. And we're copying with the message share well question kwanta okay then bagati later on in the end bagati ben market. So why our people struggle and become much when I know and the other came war and it pan but what I heard from quite dear is that can you my work you let down a little bit though which you will why is it easy for Ran to work my when we come from that generation and you might rock and what I think I will in this new economy resources much okay. Can you talk about the predisposition from your own experience? Why is there that disconnect?
One of the major problem, koi kwa achi with value, with the is
Uh-huh.
for them traditional chike value. Number two, Yeon kuto for 7 years he kiti kuimayok. Ika lunga arwed mi the joy.
Uh-huh.
Culturally now we war with me the joy because we are not planning on the future, but we are planning now. So whereby a success of one person in the family, I is celebrated, and then it turned to expectation, and then expectation can they start in logi lui guilt tripping if you are not doing as they are doing. But they what they don't realize is you and them both need to sacrifice in order but then a platform of tomorrow liberate. Otherwise it will be difficult. It can hold a very few resources, and this journey of financial economy, we are the first generation to do it, so we have to navigate it. We have to navigate it. Today, Inakwal, Mandu Achi is not just competing with the neighboring state and its tribesmen. Alu compete can man Chinese, Alu compete can man Indian, Alu compete can man Japanese. So for him to be able to be competitive, there has to be a certain foundation that he has to start on. You see, so there has to be a tough decision to be made by those who knows where the things are going. I can just tell you a very perfect example. I think Koikwa today, population, Bedir, I mean 2004 or early 2000 up to now, Bejuj actually did almost about 10 times more than the usual population on. But when it getting access to resources, I can't did. I think they get abro did. In the bucket, but only two of them become self-reliant. Not even about them supporting other people, just self-reliant. Maybe out of 10, maybe quite better. You see, majority of us men and watching we watching music, our sibling at Chugo Quen. Music our sibling, actually their own families now, and they are expecting us to do the same responsibility that we do to them, kind of their families. You know,
Okay.
but we
Okay. Someone,
cannot
one
have
question that you please,
but we cannot have this discussion because
and then you go
so
listen to
so
the question. So I just go answer.
yeah. So, and then if you don't do that, and then you start being social shame for not doing it. So now, if we are going through this, is caring. So achieve is like every time we are just trying to put off the fire. We don't have even time to strategize. How do we think? Can we realize man in what? For example, in a call, man could you choranin and you don't have anything. And then the next thing you have something, imagine muktar and go to Gloria bala Uber. So at the quick catch you, and then book down into app done your web and you send it to them. You know? At that time the little thing, gonna TV. Instead, you would be instead of you being parenting him or her, your daughter, but you sacrifice that. But Rani is not seeing that. So maybe Alam and and then start making wrong choice. Oh, we don't. Oh, man, look. Well, look because you don't even have time to be a parent.
Thank you.
You are
Thank
trying
you.
to help
You
everything.
need to repeat that statement. In Batem, so you need to repeat that statement. It's a challenge to walk out of Pana here. Until South Sudan, where Paris paying one. And go South Sudan, Juba, like I jam at Del Cock here, who quick me. I will make a post about it. You quick me pure, get the article be young. And they don't know, challenges stop and got a thing that make them actually that break families that break children from succeeding. So you actually mentioned something and a question Chiran Chiapia Rachel how do we deal with black tax? That black tax is our sacrifice, our first generation, sacrificing our time with our families, like in a Louis Job Kero, in a Jalmia Durba, Louis until evening, who go Lord, who by Louis ting du ka we chen it's time when we be now conversation when ting du ka ti ga le pio to abijal yin grande met men du waiting time ken yen met aja ta je ti bi aja mo bla mer ko kimia who you are losing your children and your wife. And what you are doing actually, you are doing love for your family back home. You are supporting, relative and everything. So you mentioned that, and I want you to emphasize again. A part of the collection in Asia, why we were UK make, but we don't a UK store, and not just storing it. It comes with consequences about carrying people back home, and we don't do that kind of shaming. Well, I want you to repeat. And then remember the conversation you had on a flight in Nairobi in the comment section. He's supporting this. I just want to let you know about that. So
Okay.
can you, can
Okay,
you,
then
can you talk from the perspective of financial literacy? Because they're very important.
Yeah, back to Kuwin Jalwil Kene is wording really a very strong stigma as a society. Shaming at all it get did shaming a did and that shaming sometime they have to see. The Daman on to during the wartime. We miss the banya I would think one miss the bind we thought they were spoiled. I would think many of them I don't look miss the bind and if you do the math on your head. Majority of they are not the brightest people on this earth. Most of them are there on Tawanya. Part of the reason now we come to realize is because when working on it, busy actually they don't have a time to be able to parent. You know, so children make their own choices. That is exactly what is happening to us now, whereby we actually get a life and we are working, and many of us have about 2 jobs. We literally don't even have a time to be a parent. Yeah. So you can just see like a 22 years old walking around in the body of a doll, but with a mind of 5 years old. You know, these are the real thing. So Kitoken Walkman is what I said. You need to lay out Kichoy your exiting strategy
Thank
because
you.
it's going to happen. It's going to happen one way or the other. Uh, Last month I saw something really heartbreaking. Emil ke South Sudanese ke Nuer. I'm one. I think they are somewhere in the US. So I actually graduated. but one day in kumane day na nyin mar, so I take a barret together. So go go ben ku ya lam South Sudan mbu tayo ka rang manam un ku ye diploma ken ngwan ke tayo ke rang nim ku jeglo that mom we made it. These are the people. Are they still have that love of where they come from? They still have the love of the culture, but they might be a very good chance. Those kids they might not even step back to South Sudan because that connection is lost. Teaching a very strong connection Nichi parent law at the time between the ground and where they are. So majority of the laws were now what are in our 40s. Actually, we are in your 40s. You have lived actually about 52% of your life. Kiran. So whatever we think we are going to exit one way or the other. But do you want to exit at your own term and condition, or do you want just the nature to do it for you, and then everything dumna you fall wherever they fall. So that is why the next 15 years are going to be real very vital for us. So this is part of the reason why I think when we need to talk about building a generation well, I think estate is the only stable way to do because we appreciate in value and it's something that you put in what you can. And I think estate in real estate where we are in Canada, in Australia, kuja US, a little bit quite expensive. So if you need something that will hold value, that is why I offer a place like East Africa. Can East Africa a very stable economy? You don't have to come up with a lot of money. You can actually do the process of storing winter whereby you put something in slowly by slowly until it start making sense. If you did the first project, and then you can be able to have a chance of doing the second project. The low command is you need to train your teen kids because key choy back then loy in a pride. And Trump Tower it will not make sense to me because I didn't enjoy it. The process of making it I can't low, so it will not even register in my mind that ekidi. So Killoy, with this project in Africa, not only in Loyen, but let the children be a process of it. And then they will start learning. So I check it in you, then you can be able to do more project quickly. Actually, in the next 15 years, which are even about 5 to 10 properties, then into that foundation, that connect between Air Kujaya back home. Bay Kenya, I want to step bigger by. I want to step bigger by. So they will start knowing about the culture. The Lora is many of us wouldn't mean men and okay, teenagers and we are in our 40s. So okay, what they will know. So a 50 something grandpa, a little settle down, we are whether in Nairobi or in Kigali, in South Sudan, to work it up. You raise your grandkid and then they remain and work in the US. You start working for them. So when I joy exit strategy because it's gonna come either way. So it's better come in our own term than in the nature term.
No, you've raised a very important question, and the topic that discuss your exit strategy is very powerful. I think coach we died, and they will agree with me. One of exit strategy you can actually is actually increasing the problem because I think it shows that you go like you go value get the robaga query instead of when liability, you use them to invest in the land. And
Yeah.
anyway, I don't want to distract you, but you have raised a very important question, and many people are asking some question in the chat. I will come to your question. I want to continue to dive deep into that exit strategy. You have already done it. You mentioned few of it, but I want you to go deeper so that you can give people a picture of how you did it. You build an initiative that connect real estate investment with generational wealth, that is generational empowerment. That not only support you, yeah, your future generation, yeah, your partners, but create a positive impact in the community. In a low thing. So what is the vision behind the work? You mentioned when how it starts, but how is it progressing? What challenges, and what breakthrough have you experienced? And about my kind of question, like what country in East Africa is best for real estate investment? When we point people to go and invest back home, there are challenges that they fear. I know many stories of long distance investors working around where they towards if they are lucky, or there's nothing at all. People are scam, right? Or
Yeah,
kuram tong in the community, you couldn't think of any target to destroy for revenge, for example, for the case of South Sudan. So if you
yeah,
can share your own story and give people advice, that would be really useful.
yeah. So I will start with Deng Choriak. The country now that he ended up in a mega house of the East and Central Africa economy, Kenya. And not only that, a financial center. Uh, Kenya had a very stable transition government. We know that change of power abroad allows smoothly as it has been doing. Uh, Uganda, a little bit fair, but the question about Uganda is after Museveni, so what? You get Rwanda a little bit fair, after Paul Kagame, so what? The side, the Tanzania that I've never been to, Tanzanian, they are really protective of the economy. They are the country and investment. Tanzania, one of those countries that has not opened up yet. But transition-wide for security is okay. It's just the problem is they are not, especially quite your cake. They are really very controlling. So giving permit to um, I akagari tong Tanzania. Back to where I was. So after two project ngani chuku jok damaran kene communities were still together. Working in the middle of it. So damaran Greater Boram or Gapir. So there was a conference in New York, and then I banned at the time. So he invited us to come and make a representation. So I went one and we made a representation in New York. So our representation in New York. So people said, I could do one with you. Ki ngadi ki could the next thing you were reminded. And so I tease with pictures and some words. So one time I post something that really people thought that it was crazy. $380 in itself every 3 weeks. Well, in 10 years, you'll buy 10,000 self. And if you have another 10 friends, say in about in 1 year, you'll buy 10,000 self. Adding 10 friends, say in about 10 years, almost about $1 million pull over. So there was commentating going online. People were arguing, not realistic. So I want yeah, they were criticizing. So I want look at some of the people reach out to me. Well, I didn't actually get on me. Well, okay. So we end up registering almost about 30 something people. And then at the day on level to Arvin, everybody paid the money. And we said, okay, we're gonna start with 10,000 a year, everybody. So it took us in a duration of about 4.5 years. We already mobilized about $2 million US.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
we built that project.
Bank
Yeah. So we were able to ngadi we raise that project. So we achieved that. So I want to talk after 4 years. But after 4 years, there were some of the things that we exhaust financially, and it's still getting a little bit longer. So the contribution starts slowing down. So the income from the project, we start using it to finish the work that was not finished by the members. So so the last 2 units inside Abdiel took in the next 2 months. So actually longer, it has been a longer, but the value is there. We can literally go to any bank now in Kenya, about $3 million, and we will have asset to back it up with.
Absolutely.
So disconnecting real estate is safer, a very slow to return money, but a very safer way to put money into it. Because something that you can verify. So after the centerpiece work, I try inspiring where people come to me, I want to do something on my own. I don't want a group, but I want my own thing. So this is where we came with this idea of go and get the land, and we subdivided the land according to the number of people that we have. So we end up actually acquiring almost about 35 acres of land that will accommodate up to about 135 homes. So Lord diaspora, and then they start construction on it. That project Kabia, the one of the largest fund diaspora to move from diaspora back home. Because that project it will be a project worth about 15 million US dollars. So let's say that everybody get done in 5 years. It get $15 million and you can move it back home in about 5 years. So can you achieve? We can be able actually to go back in our own small community. We bring our children. Adam and New York. A government that was sitting here where you so African American and better written in the middle of it.
Yeah,
you know. So I'm going to get Americans, but I'm going to get tied to the culture. Kawaja, our neighbor, actually area can would get Kawajat can one, neighbors. Kawajat came one, sometimes can regular the Africa. Kawajat came one, they own a total of about 600 acres.
600 acres in Kenya?
Yeah. Yeah.
And here we are worried about the regulation.
Yeah.
Foreign investors.
Where Australian Kero, from Germany, they are talking more of a Kenyan because they're grandkid of the former settler. So their land used to be the 6 kilometer used to be land of his grandfather.
Wow.
So to know one, I think achieve the grandfather eye to the Kenyan politician, and then Kenyan politician Kawajaka. Kawajaka when it Ivan and Yen Marwa, like when it's on Adeta, when it's Ralph. Ivan and Ralph, Chito Kenya C 1997. Wow. Michael ala Kenya in 1984, about 40 years. And sometimes your personal testimony, Maketh. Kenya at my teen year, I would be dead now because I had a severe depression in Germany. A little Kenya Iran. A little so Ben can Benetton. A little actually make me alive, not a lone Kalway cake. You let I in a dream looking, I understand. I was born in the West. You let the culture of the West, rotten. It's not a culture anymore.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Who come on Germany? So ache bele kulelien tebra loki. I want you to be donating Julela and mana loga diop who kenyina chake trust. Yen community do we baga yen about kichi 20 acres of land. Bawe ngadi Bawe International School baga build into it.
Wow.
But the only thing I need in return is aka baga donation in my orphanage school kene. Aka baga donation aluwai. We uka baga pingo kan baga aloke donation until whatever time baga support it. Kupingina ba yen we le baga luwai le baga jokon it. So pingina available menen to build an international school. So ki yen ka ba loy war eba weti baga yen chance so because progress big call loy in the construction. So all the book North American system all the book established. Etene. Right, you build North American system so the child will still go to the same school. Ako buka wajat buka la higher ka loga higher because we can afford. What you think? So you will be a parent and you'll be an owner at the same time. You will be the owner of school, we be the parent at the same time. So some of the vision that Keto can work. So I think what we are doing, we are not just building the houses. We are trying to build the future blueprint of what our communities should look like and what they should be like. Because if our nature to lay work exit out of life, go watching a plan to forward of how the children are going to connect. Just remember that it's just a lost generation. We may figure out by himself. But if we can be able to manage and guide this transition, it will be easier. There has been a very huge cultural gap. Even if you bring them together, they will fight because they don't understand each other. So you have to build something in the middle, something that something that is not too much a Dinka and is not too much of a West. Something like a buffer. There has to be a buffer zone because Ajaba Yina Kuru get the children of the cousin. I'll introduce them and big local school age as well. Kurade China will you, but then you have asset whereby you can be able to hire a family member to go and do it. I mean, let's say, for example, the Panichoy Mombasa, along there in Malindi, the land is extremely cheaper. Wo jing kedani chowing ku to yenke ko mu yenga ando miyo ke tiro di mana we ando to ano lion I pull out my 401k and I bought kichi men get to the a men get to the man they are about kichi 130 men jemo, you know. So it's a project actually you can do.
Wow.
Yeah, I do it on the side. So when the Bagla Malindi and you get a very big land, Utaku project the two kwa jitin. That auntie of yours who don't speak English or Chega Tong Kiswahili, you don't need to know how to read to write and budget, but it's just very straightforward. We don't have to wait for so there's a lot that can be done. But again, let me emphasize, we have to guide our exit. We don't want the nature to do it for us.
Wow. No, there are many things I can raise. Thank you so much. And you did show I can go well like this. So you two are maybe in traffic. And so I think many people make you in their life. That's what we envision. This is the biggest audience we've ever received. And it's because of the leadership you have, the experience you share, the wisdom that you carry with you. And I'm really honored. And I want, who's a student, where are you? And I jumped in Canada because if lost boys can do that, I think who's a student can do that too. We need our project. We just need someone of vision to guide us. So thank you. We are inspired. Right now, I don't want, but we sign up for your membership or the project and who's my in this thing because they can work and get your exit plan. I know walk a button away that was book away student be walk who's or we book away jammer while look at the settle and why because of full factors it was not our wish. We had no option. This was the only hope that we had. Now look upon our Pida brought shopping. We were desperate journey. But now what we have become here watching opportunity. We have healed ourselves because why in a structured environment to heal to get ourselves back up. And now you share the vision of going back because what at jail go operate in we are Black America. Work at jail because of displacement, but we can still go back or create pathway for our children to go back and reclaim their roots. And the best way is to go slowly integration. And I was speaking with one of my relative who is a polygamy, and I speak sometimes about polygamy issues and how they impact, because you mentioned a population that will increase, but resources are not multiplying, and that constraint. And I have seen that. I speak about it on the U10, and one of relative of mine say, polygamy is good because nothing is yet enough. I need but nothing to Nairobi, so that you can get in a big long soft landing, right? Now, in Canada, you can use in Nairobi, you miss one day, they can connect. And then from there now, you can meet the cousin in Juba. From Juba, I'll be Jalala, Kolnyang, be Jalala Maleka, be Jalala Paneden, you wear cook or be Jalala William, to be Martin. So, so he's thinking, okay, man, what you think about those long-term strategies to create channels back home? To me, put them wait in it. But now you are using different model, which is investing in real estate. And many people in the commenting, they have shared you and they have raised question, how can we trust, real estate or foreign investment in Kenya? Volatile, Kenya, it can be pay properties for. So they are raising question, and that takes me to our next question, Bala Lodipa, from your perspective, what are biggest barriers? If these are some of the fears you mentioned, preventing, community in Kenya and abroad from participating in this real estate investment and building long-term financial, cushion for their family or create an exit plan that go back home. If you can speak more about those challenges, what policies are there
So
to protect?
yeah, Jan Bajokyo with that Kenyan thing. Today is the best predictor of tomorrow. Uh, many anything when some of us we are hesitant in South Sudan because of something we have seen yesterday that happened.
Yeah.
So one of the things in the history of Kenya, by the way, you remember the Damanichi terrorism Chirajok red one, the Kenya, whereby Al Shabaab Ben could play Basili Moiran on Penben.
Yeah.
They could counting one business the Somalian Chikonchoy, Kenya. Or Kenya or Somali no mob justice because quite can I know. And what will be worse than that? Beyond Bibran, beyond crossing the border, lay Basili to the university. And it's not one, it's not twice, it happened several times. So can it know that Kenya, a country adhere to the rule of law. The Lord command is if I have a trouble in Kenya today, yeah. I think my first dial would not be to South Sudan embassy. My first dial would be to American embassy. So the country that you are in had the better protection of you than the country that you are born into, by the way. So I the bank. The Kenya, when it comes to real estate along Kenya, there's only one place to get it wrong at the initial stage of buying land. If you do not do a due diligence, in a land that is not a land that is a land that has a problem. Maybe a land or one of the children who can inherit land, what the conflict going on it, or maybe it's a government land that you did not do a due diligence. But that is stage which are passed. But you ding you maybe you ding enjoy you. That is the least of your worry. Yeah, but you have to yeah. Kenyan, they have a very good people. There was a history I was reading yesterday. Yani tiga chipin watch, jana pinga la watch, jiran. Quran Kenya has been looking for thing for over 10 years. Kumbe tiga tinga watching Kenya jito and he didn't know. But actually Jobela find out wrong in the yen tiga jito. And he has been looking for this woman for 10 years. And tiga chipin watch, what can you do?
Wow.
You see, you get one of those things, you keep it a private information, you keep it from the family. So none of the family know that they even take a dip in your what you want it. So Kenyina, I think a good people just like us. For the last, it's been 14 years now, in a Galan investment in property. They know a single time I ever have any problem or any conflict because I make sure that I spend more time on a very good law firm, a reputable law firm, to do things for me and to do all my due diligence. So I don't try to take any chances. It's just a common sense. If you are willing to spend 100,000, should not have a problem in spending $2,000-3,000 to make sure that 100,000 is well protected. So it's just a common principle for the business. So quite, I think most of the time we gravitate somewhere, sometime a lot toward the worst case scenario, which is not bad. But a chico Kenya, Kenya, we have been singing that for the last 30 years. We can, man. It's keep going. So we might even just die before King Cake. So yeah. So some of the issues we have.
Thank you, thank you. I can't appear, your reservation. I didn't know, and I totally understand. Someone has asked, back to the project, okay, well, homes, well, school. So he was wondering, are you also gonna do like health center, like hospitals around that neighborhood? Like if you want, and other amenities when, like library or something, anything that make the community, functioning properly. And how do you envision doing that? I just wanted to add, currently at school, I'm very happy. I envision a U10 Center of Excellence to be a part of it in that school at some point.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
really happy.
yeah.
To see that. Yeah.
So school is something in our mind. Hospital is something in our mind. But we are also trying to be realistic with our expectation. Healthcare in Africa is a little bit poor. I think many South Sudan is a lot of diagnosis, and people will tell you typhoid, malaria, malaria, something. Yeah, and then later, all of then you'll discover you'll to hospital whereby you'll to the you get cancer to at stage 4. It's very unfortunate. Most of the lives they are being lost. We are not supposed to be losing them. So then I think lose settle is one of the things I'm considering, and I think partnering with some of our healthcare in the West, doctors, and who bigger work at buying our state of the art health facility at all in our reach. It's just a time to be able to do it. So the quicker we can be able to achieve that, the sooner we can be able even to think about the Kachiman Hospital. But I got in the list. For example, I got even just a lab, a very good lab that that you can be able, and then your small outpatient. A can is achievable. You can do it at a little bit a cheaper price.
Yeah.
So okay, I got in our plan. Space at all. 20 acres. 20 acres area like is like about 20,000 square. Is 20,000 is about 20. Yeah, it's about 20,000 square meters.
Yeah.
Because I plot Ketro, no, it's more than that. Because 1 acre, I think it's 1 acre, they 4,000. So 4,000 times 20, whatever, do the math. So it's a big land. It's a very big land. So you can be able to subdivide in the even 5 healthcare balloon to put the health facility in it, and then the 15 healthcare then bit away in the school ground. So it's really very big. So when I took the land, I took it with that vision in mind. So it doesn't matter. We have to do one step at a time. Kuwin Chalwell, Deki Chalwell in our backroom conversation, in a call. One of the major problem in our community is that we avoid difficult discussion. Avoiding a short-term discomfort that come with the difficult discussion. When we avoid it, we are preparing for a long-term dysfunction.
Thank you.
So it's better than this short-term discomfort that we can talk about, and then we can be able to run to spearhead what direction do we want to do. The Lord command, we are not going to wait 100% of our people to start working together. There's a principle called a principle of 80-20. So the 80-20 said, yeah, 20%, again, 80% of our life affected even from 20% of our decision we make.
Thank you.
So even if we have 20% of our people to guide where we are going, I think this dream is doable. In a global society we are today, there's a power in information, there's a power of knowing what you know, and you can go anywhere with our passport where we are. Anto Guangzhou, China. I'm speaking to you, and then I will be actually exiting to maybe in about 3 weeks. I will come to Australia, and if I'm going to come to Australia, part of the plan is to be able to sit down with our people and have this discussion. Are you better off than you were 5 years ago? If you are not better off than you were 5 years ago, then you have to come with a plan. What do you do in order to make the next 5 years to be more valuable as much as you can? What are we going to do with this youth delinquency that's going on? You know, it's very painful. In my city of Kansas City, laws actually teaching me in a space of 4 years. And in the space of 2 years, me get young me good. Diak 3. Me getting to guy thought on there very funny. Can I like Lotto from sleep over with friend? Can I Lotto just like gun violence? Just some funny death. You know. Are we gonna bury our head in the sun and keep quiet about it? Or what are we gonna do? Even a man, for example, I just take a man to look hey Maketh. Teach a man how to be how to be a man, how to work. Be to dibu ala jadajer can kenyin. I think at the time to do Canada or do Australia, he will go back when he's a little bit sober.
Yeah.
You know, it will go a little bit sober. So the bad thing your child will inherit it is to teach him how to take care of themselves. That is the best thing your child can inherit it than any money you can give them. Your connection, look at the best thing your child can inherit it. Make use of that connection now, if you have it. Yeah.
Thank you. Your connection, your network, and everything. And many people agree with what you just said. Simon Denga Jamu Echiyo Nakuru. And you know you have touched many people. Many people are, who have met you, they walk away with something, and they are here on the U10, sharing their memories and moments they have had with you.
Yeah,
so it's really an honor that you are here on the U10 and helping, share this message wider so that many people can make a U10. We're copying, which I've mentioned, Ben, because conversation is very deep and a distraction a little bit. But I see you. I see your work, that you are doing. I see your support for the message that Maketh is trying to teach our generation. If we can, the 80-20 rule that Maketh is mentioning, there is power in that collaboration. If 20 people are making critical decisions and are transforming the societies, and we put them on top of mountain. You know, a microphone, bigger thing, they will make a big transformation. And someone I think in the question to I told KD classic Kurding. It's about, you know, in your conversation recently on Liberty Media, you shared that you are looking to recruit more members to, you know, to collaborate on this project more. And his perspective is from the perspective of young people. There are young people who might feel intimidated, you know, to join this big project to in millions and maybe got it how, what can you tell them to start small, you know, you can go a group. Question
Actually,
why tell $1 million, you know, kutandu kwa diara ma shopping you sofa set. You know,
actually,
run like how do you help people, like young people, to start small, or women to start, you know, seeing this and do a big project like, you know, what you are doing.
yeah, and so the space one in token.
Yeah.
We actually pin to just to how grateful God can be sometimes. Actually, pin one who actually at the time we get the land. Actually, we didn't have the money. We literally borrowed the land, and
Yeah.
I negotiated. So what I did is I talked to the guy, and then I say, hey, in 2 years I will do some down payment. In 2 years I'll pay for this land. And
Mm-hmm.
then he said, yeah, no problem. So he give us the land, and we've been paying slowly.
Yeah.
I think the down payment at the time was $5,000, and then you just pay about $220 a month, which means a lot of people you just go and drive a Uber at the end of the week and then come and pay it until book pay off, and then we start construction. That is how it starts. So sometimes we don't have to start there. So I need to negotiate one when there were another about 15 lot that were added into the program.
Uh-huh.
So that those 15 lot, I'm still negotiating with them some term and condition. But I think so that will make us now to about 130 already. I didn't even work in, so people have started construction. So so I think it would get through and in progress. Okay, and I want to go to Australia. But some of them, most of our clients are Australia, but reminded they need to do something because you do step. And especially along the DR, we can only do it publicly. We cannot do it in person. They are actually they are two income bigger useful to be taken low. Tax return. You don't even have to go and look money somewhere else. I didn't know you do one stage. I taxes could file with one you do one stage. Just like that, slowly by slowly, until it add up. So you need a way to go. Many, for example, the arguments and idea the argument there's an idea when it almost about 50,000. 50,000 a lot of money. 50,000 under fiscal structure but you were finishing your loan next year. So it's doable. But what you are moving a lot out of the equation. For example, I am the one directly building the houses now. So in the term of quality, the cost is highly controlled. One chatting one page coach on joke. Cost about 165,000 US dollars. Okay, we are talking about 520 square meter house. 520 square meter house. I America about 6,000 square feet. When my family house, in Kansas City, is about 1,600 square feet. So which mean Pandi, hello pan one day about 4 times. It's a huge house. It's not a small house. So there is a lot of chicken where human to like to yin the value of the property will almost double because for one, the way the area is being organized and the neighborhood, because would have been a chin won't on being a one core. And then because you build it is going to be cheaper. So man, I would be surprised. I watch less than 300,000. I think it got cheated the way I'm looking at it. You know,
Oh, it's more than
Lone,
half
aja,
a million
Lona, aja tractor that you cause man. So you say that you obey Kenyan higher, Kenyan galu higher. So man, one can I hold more than you there for project like you, Kenyan like you.
That's
So
it. That's it.
we feel very good at what we are doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Mm.
I just when I usually go on and interview Chalo when Dr. Tingori, one of Kenyan comedian and platform person that I follow, and
Yeah,
when they are amazed, and I really like that publicity, that PR, public relations, when we start, these stories, people are be and communities, you are building a Pan Africa, communities. Like now, Kenya, they are seeing now South Sudanese from different perspectives, not from perspective or stereotypes. One who are refugee, we have political elites who don't give the best image to them. So I'm really happy that Kenyan have built that trust and they're reaching out to you and the project is growing. I know Kirichuku request now in a 90-minute maximum time is running. Many people are asking questions. I don't know if I should just stick to my project or give the question. Yeah, Kenya do it. They can't
yeah.
wait for you to come to.
It's okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, they have done the work. Kito, Kikuyu community, maybe Ekaloma many visible. Like there's a lot of people are working actually underwater.
Mhm.
So sometimes to like a bait to bigger popularize. So I even been thinking about maybe having a platform to be able to recognize on this and to encourage the members of the community to do more. Our people they are really working hard. Yeah, question can Alibaga Queen. If they have some more questions.
Okay, perfect. So there's one question here, and it's a little bit political, but here and we answered. You already attached that many people are doing their thing low key, and I think that is the gap we realize. Can we work this platform create you tend to spotlight so that these stories get bigger of it to so aware with theory jam what approach do you think effective when it comes to development approach? Ting Pana one of so many associations that are doing development work, like community association that are doing development work, and there are individual projects, but there is also now the model based or partnership based, that you are working on. So it's just giving you based on your experience, what models should we start to focus as we move forward. What you doing 15 years ago, I lost boy, when work exit
Mhm.
plan, when work alone.
Yeah. So, kadang, yeah, association, I told, they can be stressful, but I good. But they are difficult. Actually, association can move in the US.
Aha.
Um, I
Then
want
I
to yeah. I recommended something that at the time they think was controversial, but they thought about it later.
mm-hmm.
So, I can't believe on wale wo ko buku vulnerable population among ourselves quite when you are living a risky lifestyle. Diane ben ako buku identify, kura buku identify, Kongor community need to buy a life insurance for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is if anything happened to them, so we cannot just depending on trying to bury them. There can be something actually something little that little bit one or man then la kind of. We to go around a little go around to go a little can I don't think not appreciate it. Let me check with the elders. Uh, I want to go little can be a controversial. I love ping around ka little chiko can jika wa. Well okay. So few months four was few months koi when ya ga choi risky lifestyle and ga jam koi when ji dang drinking problem koi when ji dang ngadi koi when ji dang record ku ka chi ka uh, so unfortunately, when I was still in office, we lose one person in that category that I have. So we have to come together, go we would, then we family, then we help the person who create. Awan ke chiran jo bele gule wala ke wan chima ke it seem like it makes sense. Gwale I know it makes sense. It's just like it's culturally ngadi very culturally very ngadi very radical, but it makes sense. So okay, enter with the communities association, we need to start caring for the people that we have. For the bangot repeated. Ada ane yu ke ada koi talking awake. Koi win to ke jedeng mi awai la chari. Chan ki ke toten achi non chicken yar. You know, koi win to into substance abuse. Achi very bad. You try to care for them, but it's just ukachi rebega am that inchi ala before but our tyrant. There has to be a plan. Even if you got term life insurance, you bought for 100,000 for this person. Do it. Because the lifestyle later on, at the high risk than you. You don't want to buy it in your family. Other thing is kachi mani stock out okay gambling lakini I can big coin ka when cobra loiten. So let's say koi one dran chine nyanda tiag 2004, for example. At that time to one million was the big thing, which is about 10,000. 10,000 can be China Dom one, and you buy the Apple stock with it. It will worth about 2.7 million today. You know, but nobody know that that opportunity existing. Kwachil baba ni alta wanega le controversial. What? Le what we think la into stock? That's a very crazy idea. A crazy idea, but it makes sense. You know. Uh, yeah, quite time, I think it sound good and I believe we take pride man, they joking uh oh hold on. I'm coming. Other question to watch. Other question to feel
All right. Hey, Panda, very interesting. You message raised that our people keep so much pride. Now, I just remember, um, if I listened to this show, 5 years ago, I don't think Kenny Chala freedom will the Jagam the Jalelu chicken freedom when gonna 10,000 when a freedom go like you are at okay is talking by now the Julu want to fly on the Jaru you plot money you love 30,000. Sometimes I get your lack of information and I'm really inspired. I don't know where God to figure you, where God figured in it, if you are not getting something today, I don't think I could
so I think I'm about to check out. So in a call. Here, we rather settle for a feel good story than what is realistic. I think the story that feel good in Ayudagam than what is realistic. You know, they get in the religious community. Little see when it feel good that way when we don't want to know that a dark queen on like the blonde eye white guy. We don't even want to know that because feel good. We go with it. What I'm trying to say, so feel good story, guy, than what is realistic. And actually, I came across it when I was doing the land thing one. Kuer, there was a young girl actually who reached out to me. Will Maketh find me a piece of land. And then I said, okay, I'm going to work on it. So I tried to follow up with her. And then when it seemed like she lost attention, I want to catch that thing for a very long time. I want to think a little bit of problem because I just came for almost 80,000 or something like that. Quantity online. Where did I fail this person? I cannot convince them to invest 15,000 on the land. but somehow the Nigerian can be able to get to 80,000 of that's the same person money. So yen, our perception of what is realistic and what is doable one of the things we need to be more realistic in society, and I think we can be able to do more.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, I was just regretting 10,000. Okay, let me hold you for my wedding. Okay, you got to account. You want to I can learn. Yeah, you buy the other thing. I don't want 30,000. So I think, you 10 is coming in. Just
Hey,
the
and,
one of my and everything. I know in the jail, but I want to ask you this question. What are some of the practical steps? I know what document do we need if we want to, to have a property in Kenya or any other East Africa countries? So, but yeah, well, American, practical small steps that people can take to build financial literacy, to build assets for the future, and think that they can do right to really position themselves for success. Case status, I know one of them are getting information, check a gamma on the youth, and what
yeah.
other things can you add?
Okay. First of all, if you are a foreigner, you need to get a. I will encourage you get a leasehold. That is the 99 years. 99 years does not mean that the property is going to be going back to the government in 99 years. It means in 99 years you will pay a different fee. So you don't need any Kenyan person to co-sign. Are there any company that you trust? You can be able to do that and do the freehold. You need to do that. Everything you need to do when you are getting the land, it has to be done through the legal process. Don't skip a legal process. Don't go for what you think is a good deal. Anything like that. Do your due diligence. Don't buy from a third party. Broker. Don't buy through the real owner. Investigate the origin of the land. Land can you know. Uh, Louis inherited from the family. Where you learn or are Louis inherited in the family? Make sure that actually other members of the family have a claim about the same land. Okay, you need those things. You need to know them. When you are doing the research, every land at the neighbor. Find your time before chin jalatin chin your pin. Find your time to come around. Boku teacher and a neighbor can pinye pinninga
Yeah,
ku chitauten for how long who lui ran inherited kept. Are there any contradicting message? And then you start paying attention. And then kati ke yi sa jab yo ben through ku yingadi. So I pinyo ke wo itonga. You have to know the other. So those are the information that you need to know. And again, it will help you to be able to buy a land that is clean in any problem.
thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I know your time is valuable. You talking with on the U-turn. In book bella. So this is just the beginning because message token in wisdom token in a book cultivate do baby. So that many people can learn from it and change their life. Those people who regret, like myself, they can make a U-turn because kitchen law, and then there is still many years ahead to correct the mistake. So this small thing like excited, not you would young you go on uniform launching organized. Instead you go and purchase and learn and build a school and create jobs, or just do something that of future value. We want to go and have fun. So I've seen a lot in our community where we value entertainment, we value book like Pion. A great thing. We need to be happy, but we also need to plan ahead in chemistry in the beacon. And so in the end, why you 10 message you could always take before being in jail. What you 10 message would you give young people who are trying, and everyone, to be honest? You talk about insurance, and we will bring someone we jam about insurance on this platform next week, because people, this is the most small thing I getting retirement planning. Getting. So what you 10 advice would you give people who want to make a difference in their own lives and their own communities, and change the course of their careers? I know you left a lucrative position here in US, but new career like goal in Africa, and you seem to be very successful. So what advice you 10 message about when cake for?
Yeah. So the first thing is to have a plan in place.
Okay.
Plan in everything. Everything you are seeing today, that you are seeing that is coming to life through whether a centerpiece or legacy park that I'm building, this idea started like 15 years ago. It will take years before you see any sign of it, but it start now. Okay, and number two is find your way wherever you have a legal right. Then try to find what is useful there and see how you're going to use it to your advantage. So, like a young person grow up in Canada, you are going to the workforce. What can you get in Africa? What can you get in Canada that you can get together? What your passport, your Canadian passport that can allow you to travel the world? What can you go and identify from the rest of the world and see how you combine those three? Because the cost, the low cost of what we are building or the quality of what we are building is not just a magic. It's a lot of work that put into it. It's a combination of a lot of ideas put together in order to cut the cost down and get a better quality. You see, okay, the priority. You will never don't settle for an employment. Always settle for employment on purpose. Low that employment as a transition. You know, what we are trying to do now, we might not deliver it on the first or the second generation. It might be delivered on the third generation, whereby the great grandkid they have better choices than we are because I think foundation to build. You know, and most of our parents they are dying out. Why the world was a very violent world, so I get Chito at the advantage as we are. I can guarantee you I just lost my mother 1 month ago. But if my mother would have lived in the environment I am in now, I will have a very strong foundation that I would have left with in low and start on. But I can actually go on case work I transition generation. So I knew what I'm trying to do now, I might not finish it. But I be Indian coach book be dom song mia, ke coach 80% of it actually. So that means man the coach, it will just be growing what his father has built. So we in a part of the exit strategy when just for us, buku deng a reliable job is not enough anymore. We need to think beyond that. And we don't have to have a lot to be able to start that. So start with what you have. When you want to think in 3 dimensions, acquiring, which you have a job, storing, yellow or additional money, what are you going to put it in? Multiplying. Whatever chine when it out in, make sure that it can be able to multiply sometime. So those are the 3 principles about encourage.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Maketh Kuer. You full of wisdom, you full of encouragement, you inspiring. I would have loved to continue discussing this, but create been a we will have more time to interact, and I hope that taking to them Ben Canada. So that we will be because this kind of energy can connection you can well these are the things that make real difference.
Canada is just across the border, so I can just drove in. I see. Which trying to piss off so bad, so but it's okay.
No, yeah, absolutely. The way Jenny Finley, I don't think what better been, but you raise a very important just chat in Bapol who caught with a late chin pink and message can I bang a jar town now. Bakayati. But the thing is, when I on Ben Canada, by the way, Kinium and yeah, you don't want to come and hustle no ranting, you really market the queer, can you and give you a top life. But my brother actually, Ben Canada, told me, well, I don't, in German to make your, make your life decision. But I want you to come to Canada. Not that, but not good life, but have a passport. Then you at the time. Just passport, Canadian passport. That passport will open doors for you. That's the only thing I want you to have. And looking back, having that passport, well, how do I use this passport? Now it opened doors to me. I can go anywhere in the world and see opportunities that I can bring back and change my life. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. It just makes sense. It made me reflect on that conversation 2013 on my brother and looking
Paul
back.
Philip,
So thank
in
you so much.
Chalaja,
Good day.
yeah, in Chalaja, I think my check out time has been Chinese agreed to in Chalaja. If there is any more conversation we can have, we continue from there. I have your WhatsApp and share ideas for each other. I think U10 has been a very informative platform and it's a little bit different. Keep encouraging those young people and see, I learned the best professional to have sometimes is being a teacher, because the teacher, you touch so many lives, and that what you are is a platform to teach our people and to share ideas and information.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor. Have a blessed day. Yeah. And
Mhm.
we're called I know quite you could be jalan you can studio jitana next week where we jam about money, investment and money and get it to you ten. Want you to make a U10 to build future wealth for your generation. So please back next week ben ma mora jang thought we ben jam about financial planning and insurance katin ya chi market tiga jato book a ben tie down and look at opportunities around us. So thank you for supporting this show, for sharing this wisdom with many people as possible, so that they can benefit from this. It's been really an honor to have Maketh Kuer here. Just watching the change and the empowerment to GAM and the inspiration to GAM. These are many people in our community that the U10 is excited to spotlight. You know, it's in our community, but a lot of change is happening, a lot of progress is happening. We just need to book your mountain and book a job. Sometimes we compare things, but actually apples to apple. There's things that are catching up yet to color up yet, and that is the balance. So no con no tung jot ko no tung dem ko pe. And that is the progress that the youth and envision, that we should not focus so much on the negativity, on the risk aversion, on the fear, on so many things. I know many of you, well, you personally, but we invest in Kenya. Kuna ngaje Kenya rom kana South Sudan ku biki pa the Peru or what will happen now if I can come around. So that fear I think you are way on end. Many people are worried. Pan Africa, right? Pan anywhere in Africa, a continent. Jala, you live na Iran talk you live anywhere, right? So long as there is rule of law, it's good. Now someone to about South Sudan, of course, by now insecurity and challenges, but kakachi bijal without us going there to occupy and find ways ben worker to protect and big security achieve bene to ka in be watch it pay watch it to be you watch long different experiences. We just need to put our mind together and our head take a centerpiece global partners big so I think the takeaway from here is a financial literacy, discipline, kuba kujamani chin ke all power of network, and not are specifically because what they are what are not in our community because kilo mo che benedict chin, kilo take a dung a chin a chin to mail and krimet a benedict chin. So what they are one on a lot of capacity to build something where do you market we build but financial literacy kadanyin, and we need to do that. Also trust it and sometimes what you can deprive of some wisdoms to grow and invest money in right things. You market sandu with your friends, and this sandu now is multi-million project that is going international. What you are many son do you get low nowadays? Are you go back way to like I don't go pay watching people at the idea. We need to be wise enough and put this and do together and build something circular global partners, centerpiece. We need to really get them, to teach us how to go about it. Ante one contact Maketh, if Nanong ran core mentorship on how to invest their resources, definitely U10 will be available to connect, and we can organize a master class, a workshop work on how to invest our Sanduk money to big projects that will create generational wealth that will build for future. So thank you, thank you. We call and the I call you with the we die watch it to show and your nom tom well just to back at that joke, but in care jam dakan ran jam work today. Gabriel Maketh Kuer, the key player, MVP of the Centerpiece Village, that big project Lost Boy to Nakuru, is a very inspirational guy, very wise guy, and a great mind of our time. So we are honored to have him on the U10 today. Na in Ben Kakurwa video bella away from the beginning to the end because Kajuji Gatatin, I check when you need to sit down to cut out popcorn ku joke go live show no ran rai wo because this one a live show no ran shopping e ke chu yin pe baka ku ni loy but in networks when we are progressing we value invest in the only real estate ke your land a investment for the future the ben and why job a chugu wen meet for watch career to ga tin a chugu wen meet for but if we invest in land can get the only thing that yen ke ko na lo tiom ko na because it your pin nom de na yen ke ter ko non conversation chi ma ke tu kwer chen kon jam sin somewhere chi le non kang chi le ya chi pin da ber cha if this land chi yen walk ku land yen ga ju ter one pew or climate change they are big powers and everything so we need to do one in tapping booting out to do or use for our future generation so we back in Japan and Jamarit. But next Saturday, we'll be about financial planning. Bring more young thought we about insurance, and about some of financial tools that we can use to create our exit plan for our future generation. So, could back back calendars, one back book, back titka ready. To my friends and family members in the US going to events, I wish you safe travel. I wish you good enjoyment. I hope to travel with next year, Nakawe Mark, which we're all looking forward to be a part of your celebration. But you can hello in person in US, uh, with my ladies. So thank you and safe travels. Happy holidays, a long weekend on week. Deng Choria, thank you so much. I'm happy that you joined this platform and your contribution and engagement today is really amazing. Also, Kondo Kwek, Nalgeri Yin, Jol Samira, you're always here. Atiak Simon Deng, Bakijanong, good time. Shoda Bujatiak, thank you so much for your participation, for your engagement, and for sharing the U-turn message to people that will benefit. Nalgeri Wake, bye bye. Ala kire ci ben on the show, but internet de ci top yes, so yen ka kin wega pingro, but about pingro with next time. This one, change our usual time. Our usual time, yeah, 1 p.m. on Saturday, but because of time difference, market China, 12 hours different, so put out this time because in Saturday funding to accommodate his time. Now, other people that Chirmarket, that we want because spotlight on the U10, Taka Australia, Taka China, Taka South Sudan, Taka US, we recommend probably reach out to them so that they can spotlight. These great stories need to be out there. This wisdom need to be out there, and that is the U-turn that we champion it. We accommodate time difference, and the goal is to empower and inspire our communities to invest in projects that pay off, that build generational capacity, generational empowerment in our mandate. And we encourage more women, bigger team now women on Hello UK. You can encourage young people. So now can wait, continue supporting us, and get the reward we get for this voluntary work. Now can wait and bye bye.